Hi, I am Sam Yogi. In today's podcast, we will continue with the fourth talk at Alpino, Italy, given by J. Krishnamurti on July 9, 1933. And we will also discuss what he meant in his talk. J. Krishnamurti. You are always meeting experiences partially, and out of that arises conflict. To overcome that conflict, you say that you must have a principle. You establish a principle, an ideal, and strive to condition your action by it. That is, you are constantly trying to imitate. You are trying to control your daily experience, the actions of your everyday life through the idea of consistency. But when you really understand it with your heart and mind, with your complete being, then you will see the falsity of imitation and of being consistent. When you are aware of this, you begin to free your mind without effort from this long established habit of consistency. Though this does not mean that you must become inconsistent. Okay, so what Krishnamurti or K says is as follows. When one establishes a principle, one enters the dimension of conditioning and strives to condition one's action by the established principle of consistency in this case. So in this talk, K has used the example of consistency as one such principle. To understand what the principle of consistency is, please check a post on samyogi.substack.com called The Principle of Consistency, which was written yesterday on 11 August. Here, K uses the term heart and mind to denote more than just an intellectual understanding. It is understanding with one's complete being. Only then does one see the falsity of imitation and of being consistent. So, we will continue with what K says next. J. Krishnamurti. To me, then, consistency is the sign of memory that results from lack of true comprehension of experience. And that memory creates the idea of time. It creates the idea of the present, past, and future on which all our actions are based. We consider what we were yesterday, what we shall be tomorrow. Such an idea of time will exist as long as mind and heart are divided, as long as action is not born of completeness, there must be the division of time. Time is but an illusion. It is but the incompleteness of action. So what K says is One's action is seldom complete. That is why one does not understand timeless life, timeless reality. One lives in the dimension of time as yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Incomplete action arises because one's mind and heart are not free, because one's mind and heart are limited by hindrances, by barriers. And we went through these barriers in the last podcast. These are the barriers of security, authority, fear, postponement, sorrow, etc. One meets every experience fully when one's mind and heart are free. So K continues with this talk, and let's see what he has to say next. J. Krishnamurti. A mind that is trying to mold itself after an ideal to be consistent to a principle naturally creates conflict because it constantly limits itself in action, in that there is no freedom, in that there is no comprehension of experience. In meeting life in that way, you are meeting it only partially. You are choosing, and in that choosing, you lose the full significance of experience. You live incompletely, and hence you seek comfort in the idea of reincarnation. Hence you question, what happens to me when I die? Since you do not live fully in your daily life, you say, I must have a future, more time in which to live completely. So here, K uses the example of the idea of reincarnation. Because I have not lived fully in this life, I want a future life in which I can live more completely. And thus, I start believing in the idea of rebirth, reincarnation. In a nutshell, that's what K means when he says that you lose the full significance of experience and you live incompletely. Okay, so K is nearing the end of this talk. Let's see what he has to say next. J. Krishnamurti. Do not seek to remedy that incompleteness, but become aware of the cause that prevents you from living completely. You will find that this cause is imitation, conformity, consistency, the search for security, which gives birth to authority. All these keep you from the completeness of action because under their limitation, action becomes but a series of achievements leading to an end and hence to continued conflict and suffering. So we have touched upon these ideas in prior podcasts. For example, how the search for security, psychological security, gives birth to spiritual authority. One starts believing in a guru and what the guru has to say. The guru becomes an authority, and that authority incompletes you. It makes you incomplete, because by definition all knowledge is incomplete. So the knowledge of the guru is incomplete. And I gave the example of breathing called pranayama. Prana plus ayama is pranayama. But what the gurus do is they say yama is control, pranayama is pranayama. That's because in the West they can't say pranayama very correctly, so they say pranayama. But it is pranayama, which is prana plus ayama. Ayama is dimension or expansion. So pranayama is entering a new dimension. It is expanding your prana, not yama or controlling your prana. They say yama because in yoga, yama has significance. Yama is the first limb of Ashtanga or eight-limbed yoga as propounded by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras. The eight limbs are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. So Yama means control, Niyama means rules, Asana means postures or poses, Pranayama means expansion of prana or the vital force. Pratyahara means withdrawal of your senses from their objects. Dharana, dhyana, and samadhi are internal, the last three of the eight-limbed yoga. Dharana means concentration, dhyana means meditation, and samadhi means superconsciousness. So we saw how it starts with yama. So by mistake, if someone says pranayama is yama of prana or control of prana, he will teach you a little breathing and not how to expand your prana or your vital force to a limitless extent. So he will limit you, he will condition you. That is in a nutshell what authority does, which one searches and finds when one is looking for security. Okay, we are nearing the end of this talk, and let's see what K has to say next. J. Krishnamurti. Only when you meet experiences without barriers will you find continual joy. Then you will no longer be burdened by the weight of memory that prevents action. Then you will live in the completeness of time. That to me is immortality.